So, you know, when it comes to the guns that I have in my personal collection, which is a collection that grows continuously and something I keep telling myself I need to start to trim out. You know, maybe I need to sell a bunch of these, give the channel some, you know, influx of budget money to go buy other things that I need to review. So when I think about that, then I immediately start to think about, well, I'm never getting rid of this gun or that one or this one or that one, and that list ends up becoming way longer than it should. You guys know what I'm talking about there, right? Your wives definitely know what I'm talking about. But for me, in my personal collection, there is definitely one gun that I'm holding right here that you're going to have to pry from my cold dead fingers, and that is the Sig Sauer P226 single action only Legion. And it's not just because that's a mouthful of words, and it's not just because it's got a whole fanboy following, and it's not just because, you know, it's a fancy model or whatever. It's because this is one of the best shooting guns that I own. And so I thought it was high time, if for no other reason than it's one of the best shooting guns that I own, to get this thing back out to the range and have a little fun with it. But to make it interesting and to have something to talk about that's a little different and new, the grip that you see on this gun is the aluminum grip from LOK grips. Yes, that's right, folks. You heard it here. They are making grips for Sig Sauer. Not too many yet, and I'm hoping that that continues to expand, because boy, I got a bunch of Sigs that really could use some LOK grips. I got them in blue because I thought the blue would go great with the Legion gray, you know, compared to some of the other colors. I didn't want to do black because, you know, it's black. As soon as I put these grips on, I was absolutely amazed by how amazing it felt. I mean, the stock G10 grips that come on the Legions are fantastic, don't get me wrong. But when I put these aluminum LOK grips on, I was like, wow, what have I been missing? This thing, I can't get it off my hand. It won't come off. Look, it just won't come off. All right, so that's why I'm at the range with the P226 single action only Legion. One of the many reasons. But like I said, the biggest reason is I am just in the mood to shoot this thing. And of course it is a single action only, so it's got the ambidextrous thumb safety. Oh, it is just so sweet. This is maybe the first semi-automatic gun that I ever got where the trigger just made my jaw drop. And it still does. It is just so fantastic. Of course, you have those amazing sights that Sig puts on the Legion pistols. The gun is so accurate. It's a flat shooter. Even for a Sig, you know, with that really high bore axis. It shoots flat. But man, this trigger is something to write home about. I've talked about this Legion before, probably more than one time before on the channel. But it's been quite a while, and I haven't dragged it out in quite a while. So if you're relatively new to the channel, or you just have a memory that's about as good as mine, maybe I should refresh your memory. The Sig P226 is normally a double action, single action pistol, but they do make this single action only variant. And for the Legion, they've got this fantastic flat faced trigger that is just so light and crisp, and the stroke is so short. I tell my friends when, you know, joking around at the range, I say, if you've got a pulse, just the blood going through your finger is enough to work the trigger. That's all it takes. Yeah, obviously it's a little bit more than that, but boy, it's not much. Let me try to demonstrate with an unloaded gun. There is some take up, and then boy, it's just such a firm wall. It's nice and crisp. There you go. It's like no effort, and that hammer drops. And the reset, that's it. You probably couldn't even see it move. I can barely feel it move, and you're at the reset. Oh man. So there's a reason why these amazing Legion pistols from Sig are so coveted. And it's not just because of the marketing department doing a great job. They are pretty fantastic. All right, I'm going back to shooting. Man, I love shooting this gun. Sometimes I forget how much I love shooting a certain gun. I am loving how this LOK grip feels on this gun. And by the way, you know that I have a discount code for LOK grips. Be sure you look down in the description for this video, because you can save 10% on anything you buy, and they have amazing stuff. And a little bit of money comes back, helps out the channel, and I really appreciate that. Also have this Mekgar magazine, which is a really nice extended magazine. It gives me 20 rounds. 20 rounds. Yes, sir. So when you got 20 rounds and you have a bunch of steel targets that reset themselves downrange, that spells fun. All right, well, the light is really pretty harsh out at the range this time of day. So let me show you some really nice pictures of the P226 single action only Legion with this amazing set of aluminum LOK grips on it while I yak at you. If you've never purchased any LOK grips before, the first thing you'll probably be impressed with is just how nice they come when they ship them to you. They come in a really nice box, and then inside that box, they're very well packaged. There's usually foam packaging. They separate the two grips so they can't touch each other, and so there can't be any marring or scratching during shipment. They provide screws if you need screws that that are different than the ones that are on your gun. They provide O-rings in most cases. They did for this gun. I ended up using the O-ring for the bottom screw, but not the top screw, because it made the top screw stick out a little bit too far. But it's nice that those are included. For this one, they also include a pin that goes into the lower back connection where the two halves of the grip come together. And you can see how tight this seam is and how perfect it is. I mean, you've got to look at it under magnification and really good light just to even see it at all. But then when you do, it is just perfectly even. They really do an amazing job. I've been to the LOK Grips facility, actually the old facility. I hear they've moved, and I'm going to have to get out and visit the new place as soon as I can. But I've watched them make these things, and they are state-of-the-art CNC machined. It's really an incredible process to watch. I actually have a video from my visit to LOK Grips that shows a lot of the process of how they're made. So I'll put a little link up here for that if you guys are interested in that sort of thing. Sort of the Just an Opinion budget version of a how it's made episode. I would not have thought that it was possible to improve in any way at all on this pistol, but boy, I think this grip really has improved it. It just feels so nice, so full, and there's just enough extra swell too in the palm to just fill your hand perfectly. All right, just for fun, let me put some on paper. Haven't shot this gun in a really long time. Maybe I don't shoot it as good as I think I do. Let's find out. Shooting Federal 115 grain ball, and that target is 13 yards downrange. And wow, this green front sight almost totally perfectly matches that green target. Okay, there's 10. I'll have to go down and see how I did, but not a bad group, I think, offhand. 13 yards for an old man who's tired.